This podcast is all about John and I having a conversation and bringing y'all along for the ride.
Welcome to Faith, Freedom, and Fitness, the podcast where God, government, and gluten collide. Introducing your host, John Turk, a former police officer, fitness cover model, and the real-life inspiration behind Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. He is joined by Michael Wayne Foster, a former school teacher, actor, and model who's graced the covers of over 800 romance novels. Get ready for the F3 podcast.
So, John, I took a look at current events, man. I figure you and I just haven't caught up on current events in a while. We're either telling folks how they're supposed to diet or talking about the Bible or something about acting or whatever. It's like, dude, we haven't just rapped. So I was looking at the headline news, and sadly, I'm going to start off with this. My favorite frontman, and one of the reasons that I do happen to love heavy metal music, Ozzy Osbourne, passed away yesterday.
Yeah.
And all I can think of that is when I think about all the people that are talking about things online, they all say, I'm shocked. Really?
Yeah.
Are you really shocked? I mean, I get that you're saddened. I'm saddened. The dude is an icon. I've seen Black Sabbath and Ozzy in concert easily over a dozen times. I mean, I'm a huge fan, but it was like everyone was saying, like, I'm shocked. And I'm like, when the Osbournes aired back in like the 2000, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I was thinking back there, man, we don't have much more time left with Ozzy. And I know every time a show would come, I'd make sure to go see it, just for that simple reason. And we got an extra 25 years out of him,
I know.
I was hanging out with Dale, my next door neighbor, last night. It was kind of funny. He's a good old boy from West Virginia. And I'm like, yeah, you heard about Ozzy dying? He's like, yeah, man, I saw they had a concert like a week ago. And I'm like, yeah, it was pretty awesome. I saw the trip. He goes, yep. She milked every ounce out of him now, didn't she?
Yeah.
Talking about Sharon.
Yeah, no kidding. You know what? It's kind of ironic. It was called The New Beginning or something like that, the concert. Mm-hmm. And because it was the first time that all of them from the original band members got together and did a concert. It was
with Bill Ward. Right. Bill Ward was the odd man out, because I've seen them on reunion tours, and since about I know I'm gonna be wrong, about 2000-ish, Bill Ward didn't play with them anymore. So when I saw him in 2016, different drummer. They always had a different drummer. So what is the first time.
Why wasn't he with them anymore?
No. I think it was something to do with band politics, as far as money or percentage ownership, something I think that. Because the original, it was Ozzy, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward. That's original Black Sabbath. And then Ozzy left, and Ronnie James Dio came in.
Yeah.
And took over. So everybody thinks that Ozzy's the guy that started the metal horns.
Yeah.
It was actually the guy that filled in for him. Yeah, Ronnie James Dio. And I think I told you the story. It's because his little Italian grandmother would be like, Ronnie, get the demons out. And she'd be like doing that, like demons out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not paying homage to the devil to throw up the metal horns. It's technically all I think about is Ronnie James Dio's mom going devil out. And like we talked about before, it's like when you see an upside down cross, you immediately want to be, ooh, that's the devil. It's like, no, it's not. That's Peter. That's Saint Peter,
That's what it could be, but it all depends what you're projecting, right? So Ozzy's projecting evil image, Prince of Darkness, and he's got an upside down cross. But if I'm a Christian, if I'm a Christian and I'm wearing an upside down cross, people are going to say, well, what are you wearing an upside down cross for? And then you could say, well, Peter. But the thing is, the whole point of a cross is this: give homage to Jesus. So I think that's where people get kind of all up in a tizzy over.
Well, hey, I got to stand up for the recently deceased on this one, Johnny boy. Ozzy, and I've followed his career for a long time, has never worn an upside-down cross that I've ever seen. And he always has a regular cross on. And I remember the one time Geraldo, this is back, do you remember like the mid-'80s, there was a big thing about Satan worshiping? At least Geraldo did a special on it, and everyone was afraid of Satan worshipers, right? And Geraldo's asking Ozzy about worshiping the devil. He's like, and how Ozzy talks, he's like, I have a hard enough time conjuring myself out of bed in the morning, let alone conjuring up the devil.
Yeah, he wrote that song, Mr. Crowley. You know who it's about?
Aleister Crowley.
Yeah, Aleister Crowley was a Satanist, and he just a really just strange, just out there guy with a lot of evil thoughts and evil intentions. And that's what
Yep.
that song is about. Mr. Crowley, what went wrong in your head? Mr. Crowley. And he goes on and he's talking about it. So, I mean, I sit there and I wonder, like, what then, if you didn't, I did see some pictures of him wearing an upside down cross, because they did like a little documentary a while ago, and somebody was circling, you know, hey, look at this. And he had a cross, and it was an upside down version. So I don't know if maybe that was edited. Who knows now, you know? But
Well, I'm going to go down this rabbit hole because I always like the fact that Ozzy was. I mean, I know he's not, you know, a hard. I don't know. I don't know the guy's heart, but
yeah,
I heard he was Christian, and from what I've read before, he was. So if he was throwing up satanic imagery, that I would like to find it because I haven't seen
yeah.
it. That would bum me out.
Yeah, I'll see if I could. If it was a while ago that I saw it, but I just, you know, I look at like his album covers. He's always got like some like that one Bark at the Moon. He's like a werewolf. He's like, he's always
Okay, but I know exactly what you're saying. But take Alice Cooper for example. And Alice he teaches Sunday school. It's just basically
well, he's a Christian. Not he wasn't a Christian when he was playing. He's been a born again, you know, after the fact. So I mean,
right.
there's another guy that had some really weird stuff. Like he supposedly back in the day, he used to do like really gross stuff on stage.
Yes.
And, you know, there were a lot of rumors about what he did, how true they were. But, you know, allegedly he would pass a boot around and people would spit in it and do all kinds of nasty stuff, and he would drink it. This is rumor. It's none of it's truth, but I don't know what he did, but he would do vile things on stage like Ozzy did, biting the heads off bats. I mean, if you're not a devil worshiper, why are you biting that head off a bat? I mean, there's a lot of stuff you got to think about that he's done.
Hey, someone said that the bat bit Ozzy and he was just getting him back.
Oh, yeah. That's what I heard too. Yeah.
Well, hey, not to be a hypocrite, but your whole boot full of, you know, spit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard that one too. Yeah.
I was in a fraternity once, and there are things called stupid and sick pledge tricks. So I don't know.
Man, I can't even think of that.
Actually, I
dude.
got to tell you, John, this is the worst thing that ever happened to me. As far as it was a day after like a mega party at my fraternity house, right? And I'm getting up, and there's some crust in the eyes, no doubt, and my mouth is dry, and I looked over and I see a can of 7-Up. I was like, awesome. So I played baseball my first couple of years in college, and all my buddies were baseball players. What do baseball players do if you got like 6 to 8 guys sitting around your room drinking beer? They all got a dip in.
Yeah.
It was the community dip spit. And I grabbed that thing and I remember I'm
going to throw up thinking about it.
John, I turned green. I turned green. It was the most horrific thing you can ever imagine. Horrific. I have nightmare to this day. I always, if you ever see a can sitting there and I'm not sure if it's mine, you'll always see me sniffing it out, man.
Yeah.
Never again. Oh, it was horrible.
My gosh.
It was so bad, dude. Oh, it was terrible.
So I had a friend in college who was the same way. He'd have a party, and you know how people drink, and there's like partial drinking glass of beer and this and that. Yep. And in some glasses, there's a cigarette butt out, and he'd get up off the couch, and he was like you. He's like 6'5", big dude. And he would get up and look around. I'm like, man, that was a party. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm thirsty. And he'd just start picking up these glasses of who knows whose it was and what was in it and drinking them. And I'd be like, what are you doing, man? He's like, oh, not a big deal, dude. I'm sure all the booze in my system will kill whatever germ is in there. I mean, you know, another time we were walking into the gym, and and he liked to gross me out. And it was a fresh, because I threw up. He did something so disgusting once, I threw up. And so his big thing was to try and make me throw up again. So he would do all this. We're walking into the rec center to go work out. This is in college. And my buddy points out this goober hanging off of a parking meter, fresh loogie. Somebody just right onto the meter. I go, oh my gosh, that is so disgusting. He runs up, licks it off the meter, and he comes running after me, and it's dangling on his tongue. And I'm just going,
I'm taking out my headphones. I can't. I was genuinely gagging right there.
I'm telling you.
That's what gets me. Oh,
he was my roommate in college. And then one summer, we had something happen outside. We had a bunch of horseflies that was getting in the house. I mean, these things were honkers. And I walk up, and they were so big, I didn't want to hit it when I saw it on the window. I had to use something. Because it was one of those big fat ones that looked like it was filled with pus.
Oh, yeah.
And it's sitting on the window, and I go up and I go, bam! And it goes, and it pops on the window, and it's dead. It's stuck there, you know? And he goes, oh, that looks tasty. He walks up to the window, sticks it on his tongue, and runs after me with this horsefly hanging off his tongue.
Oh
Dude,
man.
I
Oh my
mean, there's
the
so
Lu
many.
dude,
Man,
the
my
loogie.
college buddies
My
were
God.
just Mike, they were out there, dude.
Yeah. Well,
Out
yeah,
there.
what
I
the
only
hell?
touched
What
I only touched
wrong?
the tip of the iceberg. I got about 15 more that are even more disgusting.
Oh, I'm really trying hard to hold back right now from some of the things that I participated and witnessed in. But what is it with that, man? I mean, seriously, at that age, like college age, why is it just going back to Ozzy? Like I watching heavy metal videos and being in that culture where it's like they just start breaking stuff. My fraternity house, like if you watch a Pantera video, they always trash a hotel room or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
at my
yeah.
fraternity house, it was kind of like Animal House. It really was. And I remember we didn't really use this one downstairs area, and we just all went down there one night and took all our bottles and started throwing them in the fireplace. Stuff smashing everywhere. I mean, just
Yeah,
little
yeah.
things like that where it's like we're just destructive and acting like absolute animals. I
I
mean,
know.
is that what happens when testosterone first appears and peaks?
No, it's
Is that
that
what it is?
and no parents around, you know? You're
Ah,
out there. And
there
then
you
you
go.
throw alcohol into the mix. Did I
Oh
ever tell you about the fraternity we created at ISU?
no.
So we didn't really care for fraternities. So all the weightlifters got together and we created our own. It was called Beta Iota Gamma. Big. And we had an initiation. And you know what it was? One of the guys lived in a house, and it was an old beat up, just junky house, but it had like 10 floors. You could only see 3 from the outside, but it had like 3 sub basements, 3 smaller attics that went up into this little area. Big, and so what we did is we were kind of were like the loudmouths of the campus, right? And so a lot of people, other guys that were lifters that weren't in sports or whatever, just kind of wanted to join our fraternity. So we said, we should do a little rush. And so we had about 10 guys that wanted to get into our fraternity. So we did a rush, and we did it at the old beta house. And so what we did is we set up a weight station at each floor. So one station when you start off is bench, then you go up to the next one, it's heavy curls. But at each station, you do a shot. So you do bench, you max out, you go to failure on everything. And then you do a shot of like wild turkey. And it's nasty, nasty hard liquor. Then you go up and you curl till your arms fall off. Then you do another shot of like tequila, like Jose Cuervo. Then you go up to by the time you get to the top floor, and then you have to go
Trashed.
back down. You've done already 10 shots. And then you have to go back down. If you make it down, then you can get a chance to be initiated. And the initiation is you stand there, and what we do is we would drop a 10-pound plate from like probably almost about a little more than a half a foot on their head, and we would write their nickname in their forehead in permanent marker. And then we would make them wear a leopard Speedo, and then we would take them hammered all to the sororities, and we would let the sorority houses know that we're going to be bringing these guys around, and we're going to have them posing in front of the sorority houses just hammered. And these girls would run out and pants our guys that were Russian, and just they'd be standing out there butt naked posing. Well, some of them would have mics. Some of them would have blood dripping down their forehead from the plate hitting them in the head. But they were just so hammered they didn't even realize it. And I look back on that stuff and I go, what were we thinking? I mean, it's just completely out there, dude. It's like,
But it's awesome.
There's
Nothing
so
not cool
fun.
about that.
Yeah, I mean,
at 21 years old, that sounds like a party to me. Now, I don't know. I'm definitely out. But back then, oh yeah, to the top 10 floors, I got this. Oh yeah.
Oh, dude,
I
nobody
absolutely
made
would
it.
have joined Beta
Yeah.
Iota Gamma.
Yeah, nobody could make it up and down and do all the shots. They were passed out drunk by the time they got.
Wait a minute. You're saying 10 shots up, and then you got to have 10 shots on the way down?
Yeah, you got to go up, and then you got to go down.
No way. No, that's impossible. Yeah,
so you're
at
doing
that short
20
of time,
shots in a matter of, and all this exercise in a matter of like 10 minutes. To guys that don't drink, usually. So it's kind of crazy.
Right. My God, that's just terrible.
Fun times, buddy. You missed them.
Yeah. Well, we weren't doing any physical exertion like that. Ours was, oh my, there was this thing called sick pledge tricks. So Ozzy took us to some pretty so going back to Ozzy, that was like you heard stories of him snorting a line of ants, drinking his own urine. I mean, all this stuff that he used to do too. There was that Motley Crue show, The Dirt. Did you see that?
No. Was it?
Oh,
I didn't know he did a lot of gross stuff too. I mean, I knew he did like crazy stuff, like biting the head off the bat, like you said. And
Oh no, he snorted a line of ants. I mean, Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx were talking about it. Where they watched the stuff this dude did. Ozzy would do the craziest stuff. That was his jam. So it's like it's just I don't know.
he was
I looked.
Jackass before Jackass.
He was Jackass before Jackass.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah,
But yeah. Well, how about the other one? Well, let's see where this conversation will take us. Ozzy took us down quite a colorful road there. Malcolm Jamal Warner died too, from the Cosby
yeah,
Show. Theo Huxtable.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's sad. He's very well known figure, and he drowned. I mean, did they say what happened? Did he like get sucked out in a riptide or something?
That's exactly what I read. It said that he
Was
got
it
sucked
okay?
out in the current. Yep, he got sucked. I think he was in. Oh, I knew he was somewhere in the South Caribbean. One of the
Yeah.
islands, I believe it was.
Was it Costa Rica? I thought it was Costa Rica. No,
Was it
maybe
Costa
I'm wrong.
Rica?
I thought
Maybe
it
it was.
was. I could be wrong. So
No, well,
yeah.
continue.
Well,
But
I don't know if you ever got caught in a riptide. It's scary, man. I don't care what kind of swimmer you are. You're pretty much doomed if it's a real strong one.
yeah, and they always say that you're not supposed to swim against the current because it's going to
Yeah,
wear
because
you
you'll
out.
tire out. Just let it take you where it's taking you.
Yep.
Sometimes it's out to sea.
Well, that's usually, or at least, yeah, I stand corrected, John. I'm sorry, it wasn't Costa Rica, which would be directly south of my wife's maiden home country. She was born
Yeah,
in, at least,
yeah.
Nicaragua. So
Nicaragua. Yeah.
Nicaragua. So yeah, so Costa Rica. Yeah, I actually went fishing off the coast of Costa Rica. I mean, it's beautiful down there,
Mhm.
obviously,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, that's some scary stuff happening there.
Yeah, that's
I
can you
remember.
imagine you're on vacation and your
No,
family and you die like that? I mean, that's horrible. It's like in your
well,
foreign country, it's
listen to this one. So this is terrible. Our mentors that we had over at our church that ran the life group, their son was a firefighter, and I believe it was 2 years. Was it 2 or 3 years ago? They were down at Orange Beach, and his son was going out too far, and he swam out to save him, and died. And he was,
oh,
I
man.
think, mid-30s.
Oh,
So, yep. So that was pretty horrible. So yeah, man, that's the one thing. And even when we just got back from Orange Beach down there, the
yeah.
coast of coast of Alabama. For anybody listening to this in California, there's no such thing as a coast of Alabama. It doesn't exist. Everybody just says go to Panama City. That's I'm
Mhm.
trying to keep it quiet. I don't want people to find out where we're going here, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because it's quiet. But that's the one thing is I don't like getting in that water more than just knee deep. I mean, first of all, I see a shark coming. At least I got one good jump potentially out of the water, and
Yeah.
and I'm just terrified of that rip current down there because it's pretty strong. And like I
You
said,
know
it
you know
took
where
the
they
life
say
of.
it's the worst, Mike? In Cabo, you can't even swim there. They tell you you're nuts if you swim there, you'll die. Cabo's got one of the worst, yeah.
I wonder if that's because the way the water would be coming down the coast. That's like the tip right down there.
Mhm.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
right.
Maybe it's just come ripping through there. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I mean, even the locals don't swim in there, you'd think they would know where to go. None of them go anywhere near that water. I guess it's so bad. I can't
Yeah.
imagine. I got caught when I was in Turkey when I was a kid, and I got caught in one, and it scared me. I was only, like 11 years old, and I'm getting sucked out, and I'm screaming, and I think people realized, what was going on, and this a couple guys ran out and made like a little chain, we're hand to hand, and then they grabbed me because I was swimming against this thing, and I was on top, but if I put my foot down, it was sucking me out because it was an undertow, and so I couldn't, no matter how hard I was swimming, I was sticking in the same spot, even going back. So, right now, I'm starting to have a panic attack, while this is going on. So these
Mhm.
guys ran out and yanked me out of the water. Otherwise, I don't know what would have happened if these guys weren't there, but man, it was scary. So I can't
Yeah.
imagine if you're someone that's really not a good swimmer, and you maybe had a few in you, and then you're tired, laying in the sun. You go out there and you get stuck in that rip current. Man, it's brutal.
Yep. Yeah.
It's
I
sad
mean,
too.
it's pretty to be on the beach. It's cool. I get it. Being on the beach, looking around, it's all that stuff, beautiful scenery, sun. But for me,
Right?
my money's always I'd rather just go back into the lazy river or the pool. I mean, I know you can swim in a pool anywhere, but at the same time, I just when it comes if I'm going to just be sitting there, lounging in the water, I really don't have any desire to be in salt water that has a current like that. That's
Yeah.
just not.
Too is like being in San Diego. I go to Del Mar and I would swim once in a while. And I used to train people up in a park right above called Seagrove Park, and it overlooks the ocean. And I used to sit up there and I would see all these guys surfing, and I would see these big, look like fish, I thought, oh, they're dolphins, and because I would see the fin on the back, and I really wasn't, good with them at all, like figuring fish out from a distance or whatever. So I would go in the water and I'd swim, and I'm like, oh, look, the little seal coming by. And I look right behind it. It's literally 10 feet away is this bull shark chasing this seal. And I know they're very aggressive sharks, and
Mhm.
you ever see how fast they can go. So
Mhm.
all those fish I used to see around the surfers, they're all sharks. So there's a ton. I mean, if you look at the records between, La Jolla and Encinitas, Carlsbad, I mean, there's an Oceanside, there's been a lot of shark attacks. And it's kind of scary because I don't even go in the water anymore because I see them every time I'm out there. It's insane. And these people jump in the water in La Jolla, especially tourists, because the seals will sit on the shoreline. It's called La Jolla Shores. It's full of seals. And people jump in the water with the seals. I'm thinking it's deep there because it's in a cove. These sharks will come up from underneath and just wolf down a seal, right? And I'm thinking, if you're
You're
sitting there
swimming with shark
swimming,
food.
yeah, what are you
You're
doing,
swimming
man?
with shark food, you
Yeah, right.
dumbass.
Yeah, it's just insane to me. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't understand how people don't see it or why they do it, but maybe because it's vacation and they want to do something they've never done before, right? Swim at the seals, which
Maybe
smells like pure piss, by the way. The whole area stinks like piss. You can't even, I don't even know why. I went down there the first time. I went, holy cow, I can't even stand it. It's so bad.
I'm sure. Whether seals, I mean, that's
Yeah.
just laying there, just
Yeah. Right.
sun-baked urine. Oh man.
Yeah. Gosh.
No, man, I'll tell you what, the first time I ever went down to Nicaragua with Karina, we were going down to surf. And as God is my witness to you, John, I'm sitting there one night. She was at work. I happened to get home from work early. I'm sitting there just watching TV, and it was National Geographic, Nat Geo. And I'm
Yeah.
watching there, and it's like, and the show comes on. I we're flying the next day to Nicaragua. Monsters of Central America. Doom, doom, doom. Nicaragua. And I was like, oh, I gotta watch now. I mean, it was one of those deals where I kind of looked up a little bit like, okay, what are you trying to tell me? And there were like 3 things that it was saying to stay away from. And it would talk about the obviously the snakes that are down there, they call them the culebras.
Yeah.
They were talking about how horrible that is. There's something else. I forgot exactly what it was in the jungle, but it's like, don't mess with that. And last but not least, it was the hammerhead shark. And it talked about how the hammerhead shark, one drop of blood they could sense from like 100 miles away.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I'd never surfed in my life before. So we got down there, we had surf instructors, and these dudes were like these hippie dudes. It's pretty cool, man. We went out and they're like, by the end of we surfed for 3 days. By the 3rd day, the first time I got up, all the people on the beach started clapping because I know they were just sitting down there like, okay, obviously he's American. Everybody else there was either Nicaraguan or Hispanic of something like Karina, of some sort. And they all just started rooting for me to get up. And I finally got up on the surfboard. Everybody's cheering and all this. But the point of it is before that happened, I took 2.5 days of my lumps, right? And I never forget, I came down on my surfboard and I skinned my knee. And I was looking at it, it was bleeding. And all I did is went directly back to Monsters of Central America, Nicaragua, where the hammerhead shark can smell this 100 miles away. And I'm like,
Yeah.
ah! And I get out, don't worry, they're not going to bother you. No, I'm bleeding. They're going to get me.
Yeah. Right. I heard that same story too. How true that is, I don't know. You always wonder, how do they smell it from 100 miles away? I mean, they'd be smelling blood everywhere if that's the case, But they say that sharks do have, they're not really good vision. They have really good senses. And,
well, that's why they eat people, because they're like, they smell like, you got a bunch of people swimming with seals and a shark's coming in at, full speed, Mach 2. Yeah, he's just going to eat. Okay. That's why. Yeah, good point. So let that be a lesson to you kids out there listening. If you're going to swim, don't swim with the shark's food.
Man, I know.
Yeah.
It's,
well,
oh,
hey, speaking of pop culture, so Malcolm Jamal Warner, Ozzy, did you happen to see the other day? I got a kick out of this. It was the WNBA I think they had their All-Star game or something, and they were all wearing shirts that says "Pay us what you owe us."
they actually lose money.
Yes.
At WNBA. They've been losing money for years.
Yes.
So all of a sudden now and then they want to try and smash Caitlin Clark all the time. It's just amazing to me. She's the one that's brought more, advertising and more industry to women's basketball than anything. And yet they're just trashing this poor girl. And it just amazes that. I don't. And now they think that they're owed this amount of money because of this girl that they're trying to actually get kicked out of the league. It's nuts. I don't understand any of the logic behind it.
Did you see? I don't watch award shows, but I happen to catch because I do like Shane Gillis. I watched his monologue. Did you see that at the for the ESPYS?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't
When he
see it.
was,
I heard the roundup on it. So
did you hear what he said about Caitlin Clark?
yeah. Go ahead, say it. Yeah.
Well, no, he's like Caitlin Clark. When she retires or whatever, she's gonna definitely get a job at the Waffle House so she can do what she loves to do, which is fist fighting black women.
Man, yeah. And I
Yes.
heard it didn't go over well, but a lot of these comedians don't care. Like Ricky Gervais when he was at
Doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean
Dave Chappelle doesn't care.
Yeah.
Chris Rock doesn't care. That's
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I mean,
it's comedy, right? You shouldn't have to worry about that. If it's funny, it's funny, no matter what you do, right?
yep. I certainly laughed. That was, but yeah, I just can't get over the sense of entitlement they must have, not understanding that they are. I mean, the NBA subsidizes it, so without the NBA, they go out of business. There's
Yeah,
no
right.
money there,
Mhm.
and it's just to be that like, yeah, and it's like, and now they never have said anything before. It's like now Caitlin Clark shows up, and I think she's probably balling. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure. I think her league salary is like something like 70 grand, but in endorsements, she's just making a truckload of cash.
Mhm.
But the rest of them are starting to see that, like, oh, maybe that's what's going on. Where they're like, well, hey, we're playing too. We all should be. And going back to socialism, there's
Yeah,
your
right.
socialism right there. Well, wait, she's got this. Well, I'm working too. I'm playing the same game. Why don't I get the same money? Because
Yeah.
nobody wants to watch you. It's kind of like back in the day when I actually cared about basketball. I would pay to watch Michael Jordan. I'd pay to watch Larry Bird. Pay to
Mhm.
watch Magic Johnson. But if you're telling me that, like, okay, Bill Laimbeer, who I liked a lot, he was the center for the Pistons. He was a
Right.
really, really good player. But it's like, if it's a league full of Bill Laimbeers, I'd be like, is he a good role player? Absolutely. But is he the one that's putting butts in seats? Not.
No.
I mean, with Isaiah
Sometimes
Thomas
with
and
all the
Dennis
brawls he
Rodman and
used
those
to get
guys,
in,
yes. But what's that?
he used to get in a lot of brawls, so I'm sure some people would go to watch him just for those fights, not his athletic ability.
Right. Him and Rick Mahorn were the
Yeah.
back when they were the bad boys. They were,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just like hockey, we used to have his name was Keith Magnuson. He was on the Blackhawks. He had no teeth in his mouth. He had gotten into so many fights.
Do you remember the Red Wings had Bob Probert and Joey Kosher, and
Yeah,
that was their
yeah.
Bruise Brothers, and all they did is just skate around and protected Steve Yzerman. Anybody
Yeah.
got near him, they started fighting.
Yeah, yeah. He went on the Hawks for a brief period, and then he went down into the minor leagues and kept playing. And I saw him play. I was when the Chicago Wolves were playing. Probert was on their team, and he was
Okay.
pretty decent when you'd look at the minor leagues. But he was old at that point, and he was still getting in fights back then. In that minor leagues, and I'm thinking, man, this guy's he's got to be sore when he gets up in the morning. He's fighting in almost every game. It's after a while you say to yourself, aren't you tired of it?
There are two specific stereotypical looks that I see that make me run the other way if that person wishes violence upon me. One is if I see cauliflower ears, nope, you're good. And
Mhm.
two, if I see a dude that's missing teeth and says he plays hockey, don't want any part of that either.
Don't forget this one.
That's right. You get smashed in. Wrestlers and hockey players, man, I would want nothing to do with them toe to toe.
Yeah.
Those guys, that's all they do. I mean, hockey players. I remember, knowing some hockey players. It's like, they got to go train on the heavy bag, that sort of a thing, because that sooner or later they're going to get in a fight. That just blows
Mhm.
my mind.
What was the old saying? I went to a boxing match and a hockey fight broke out, or a hockey game broke out, or something like that.
Totally. Well, hey, moving on from sports entertainment. So I took Maggie to go see Superman today.
Oh yeah.
It was we were just kind of in here watching some stuff that Dad used to watch as a kid, and Superman came up, and I was like, man, that came out in 1978. I'd have been 5. She's 4, and I specifically remember going with my parents to see Superman in the movie theaters, like
Mhm.
first memories being a live tape deal, and I was like, I asked people on Facebook, I was like, is it age appropriate, this sort of a thing? And then,
Yeah.
it seemed like it was just kind of cartoonish, and,
Mhm.
there's a couple of bad words, a little bit of kissing, but that's about it. So I was like, oh, go check it out. And it was, well, what have you heard about it? Let me ask you this.
I
What have you
haven't
heard
heard
about it?
much because I love the original one with Christopher Reeve, and I watched the other ones after that. I haven't heard anything. I do want to start going to movies more. It seems like they're making some of the good movies again. They're coming out. Like I heard F1 was really good. I heard the new Jurassic Park is really good, which I want to see. I love dinosaurs. Even from when I was a little kid, all I did was draw dinosaurs. I was so infatuated by them. So that's another one I want to see is Jurassic Park. I've watched every one of them. I do want to see, like I said, F1. I want to see Superman. And there is one more I can't think of right now.
That's coming out or has come out?
It is coming out. Yeah. I forget what it is.
Oh, was it the Odyssey? But that's going to be like 2026.
Yeah. Oh, is it? It's in 2026. Okay.
Mhm.
I thought it was coming out sooner than that. So yeah, it is Odyssey.
Yeah. No, the only reason I know that is because it was a trailer on my Superman. It was one of the trailers before Superman started. So I was like, oh, the Odyssey 2026. I was like,
Yeah.
And it looks like I think Odysseus, I think it's going to be the kid that plays Spider-Man. And then Shane Bernthal, the guy that was on The Walking Dead and The Punisher and all that stuff. He's been in a ton of movies.
Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? He's going to be in?
Spider-Man Tom Holland, the newer one.
Tom Holland. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was the only two actors that I recognized that were talking.
Gotcha.
So we'll see. But this Superman, I got to tell you, because the original is I hold very dear to my heart. So the first two, awesome. The third one, it was on HBO a lot. I'd watch some of it. Fourth one, horrible. But then as far as if we're doing the Superman movie canon, so then the next one that came out was the one in 2006. That was the one with Brandon Routh, who kind of looked like Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
And I gave that
Tank. Didn't that one Tank? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like a couple $100 million, but that's what they spent on it. And it was like, it was okay. I mean, there were a couple scenes I thought were pretty cool. That when he saves the airplane, I'd watch that again. That was cool. But it just seemed like so much of it just kind of dragged. And then in 2012, Zack Snyder, when he and Christopher Nolan came together to do Man of Steel, that was everything. That was the one movie. If I was trying to think, when's the last time I got excited about going to the movie theater? Like, I can't wait to see a movie. That was it. I was like, oh man, because I love Zack Snyder's visuals and like 300 and all that, Watchmen and all that.
Right.
And the grittiness and making it realism. So for me, Man of Steel is, I mean, obviously the original, warm place in my heart. But as far as if I had to sit down and watch one, I could watch Man of Steel anytime. I love that movie.
Yeah.
So I liked, and a lot of people didn't like it. This is just, it's personal preference. You might be a person that likes the lighthearted, comic book stuff. I like the dark, gritty stuff. Like I remember going to when Independence Day, I think it was like 95 or 96 maybe, when that was coming out. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. Like an alien invasion movie. And I like the serious stuff. And then you got Randy Quaid flying his plane up at the mothership going, up yours, aliens, and all this. Little quips like, welcome to Earth. He punched them. It's like, this is terrible. So Snyder's vision of Man of Steel for me was exactly what I wanted. So I love all that dark stuff. And then like going back to the Dark Knight, I like the realism aspect.
Yeah.
And then this one came out and we watched it and it's full of shiny lights and colors. Superman spends the majority of the movie getting his ass kicked. I mean, he does a couple of cool things, but other than that, he's always just getting beat down by everybody else. I know, right?
First of all, I'm not surprised with woke Hollywood. They want to just trash anything that's got like toxic masculinity attached to it.
Okay. I'm really trying. I'm trying not to give spoilers, but I'm also trying to think if I thought this was woke or not. Like I will say that. Okay, spoiler alert, I'm going to say something that happens in the movie. James Gunn's brother, Sean Gunn, I think he's the one that plays the raccoon. And he plays some other characters in his Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel universe, right?
Yeah.
And I know what he looks like. And at the very end, obviously, Superman's going to defeat Lex Luthor, blah, blah, blah. I mean, okay, there's a huge spoiler. Nobody saw that coming. So anyways, they're walking out, they're doing, news, like it's news shots. And this guy who's this Sean Gunn, Chris, turns around, he's like, one thing that Republicans and Democrats can all agree on is that Lex Luthor sucks, like that. And I was kind of like, okay.
They said that in the movie.
Yeah, I was like, that was pretty cool, So, sorry if I spoiled anything, but I thought that was cool. And then it was, everyone was talking about it's an immigrant story. It's an immigrant story. And it's like, okay, I can see if I wanted to really break it down to the subtext, why people don't want him here and blah, blah, blah. And, but then he really is one of us and all that. I guess you could see that. But I mean, you really got to dig deep if you're going to try to see that. I mean, the bottom line is we all know Superman's an alien. We all know half of his life is saving the planet. The other half is trying to fit in. And if he doesn't fit in well and people don't like him, and this one was more political. And then, okay, you could look at it like this. There's two countries that are at war throughout this thing. And you could definitely look at that as being Israel and Palestine. It could
Yeah.
easily be looked at as that. But again, if you don't go into it just politically charged out of your mind and you want to just sit back and watch a bunch of, laser type battle scenes and all that stuff, I would probably, honestly, I'd probably give this one a 4 out of 10. I mean, visually, it looks cool enough. My
Yeah.
favorite scene is he's fighting these guys in the air and he throws a punch and hits this dude, and you see all the teeth just taking off. I was like, that's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought the CGI, I thought it looked pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's seen the trailers. He's got a dog. The one thing, and I think it's out now, that Supergirl makes an appearance and she's hammered. So she shows up just wasted. And the whole thing is, she likes to go to planets with red suns and party because of our metabolism. We can't get drunk with yellow sun. And it's got like little humor like that where it's like, okay, I don't remember the original Superman. I mean, I'll go through and think again, but I don't think it had any like alcohol references, and I don't remember a whole lot of swearing. There was a lot of shits.
Is there swearing in it?
A lot of shit, damn, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
No F-bombs, no GDs.
Yeah.
What's her name says when she's referring to Supergirl at the end says bitch. I was kind of like, I mean, it was one of those like, it wasn't anything bad enough where I'm like, all right, I need to sit down and have it. My daughter knows not to use these words.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that. But, it's just kind of like, you got to throw in that extra. I mean, if it's something that flows, like if you and I are talking, I know I've cursed a couple of times on this, but it's just like, I know if an F-bomb's coming and I'm not going to drop those.
Sometimes you need one to really get the point across, right?
Right.
Every now and then they're needed.
but to force them in, that's where I'm like, nah, I don't think you gotta. And some of these just seem forced in,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But other than that, like I said, it's one of those deals. It's all personal preference. Allegedly, this is going to start a new universe. I'm not saying anything that's not in the trailers. The guy Nathan Fillion, I know you've seen him and stuff. He plays Green Lantern. He's just kind of cocky. Can't really see. This is the thing about characters that we used to watch in our childhoods that we remember that made, like, all these characters are kind of like, okay, Green Lantern was kind of cocky. Hawk Girl didn't really do anything. And Mr. Terrific was pretty cool. Like but all his like gadgets, he's kind of like the Iron Man, I guess, out of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he was pretty cool, I guess. But there's really there's no defining moment, like where Superman might say something like, from the original one, I sure hope this doesn't put you off about flying, miss. Statistically speaking, it's still the safest way to fly. I mean, I'll remember some quotes, General, care to step outside? I mean, there's some quotes that you'll hear from the original stuff. That this one, like, if you had to ask me from a quote, I just saw the movie. What did he say? Only thing I remember is he's looking at a monster. He's like, hey, eyes up, and takes off and flies straight up. But other than that, there's not like those iconic lines. The Critical Drinker was talking about this the other day. I was watching him talking about like, make my day, I'll be back. Make him an offer you can't refuse. All these lines that are just so iconic. And it's like in the last 10 years, with all the schlock that Hollywood's been throwing out there.
Yeah.
Can you really think of any lines that are like, wow, that's an iconic line. They'll stick around forever.
No, the only closest to it was that commercial, that What's Up commercial. What's up? Do you remember that one? Everybody was saying that.
Oh, God. Just the dumbing down of society is real.
Right. And also Jeff Daniels, what he said, that text that Franco, man, I used to love Jeff Daniels. I didn't know he was that much of a liberal.
Well, he definitely can't. I just don't like the fact that he said, any Trump supporter he wishes financial hardship upon. That's what he said. That's what at least what the headline said. I'm just like, I don't know. I never remember a time that I would actually sit here and be like, well, I wish financial hardship on anyone that's ever voted Democrat. I mean, I just don't think like that. I mean, is that, I don't understand. But I guess then again, if you take a look at what sides sort of go in the whole, what is the word? Ism spectrum. You've got the conservatives, tend to go with capitalism, and the Democrats tend to go with socialism or communism or Marxism or whatever it is over on that side. And, maybe that's just it. The idea behind socialism is, or at least communism is that, okay, well, you've got something, I deserve half.
Right. It's kind of like a marriage.
Exactly.
The Democrats are the bitches and the Republicans tend to be the husband, right?
Well, but you know what I'm saying though? It's like you take these people that want to, like, it's like, like they want to take what you have, where capitalists just want to make more. And that, I
Yeah.
think, is why that right there is why the pendulum just keeps on swinging back and forth, and the battle
Yeah.
never ends. It's
You
just
know, too, is they always
nonstop.
point out in capitalism how greed, they're always saying greed. Well, how about like narcissism and just taking everything for nothing and, running with it and not contributing to society? And it's just like each side has their negative aspects, right? And you just figure out that each one is going to perpetuate or try to expose the other one's negative aspect. And as far as I'm concerned, the people with greed is going to be there. It's in the Democrat side too. There's plenty of greed. If you look at all those politicians, there's tons of greed there. You look at a lot of these people, they get stuff for free. They go and grab as much as they can, So I mean, greed just comes in a different form, no matter how you want to present it, right? It's
Hmm.
not like only one side is greedy. You got greed going on both sides. So
Right.
I don't
But I guess and I do agree with all of that. But I guess on a personal level, to sit there and wish financial hardship on a group of people that disagree with your political views or your
know.
ideology, to me, is just not the kind of person that I'd ever would want to associate with.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, it just looks like here's one more actor that I'm going to take off the list of stuff that I'll watch. And I mean,
Yeah.
people are like,
Right.
well, like back when I didn't watch sports, when I was done with, like, I was sick and tired of watching the Colin Kaepernick thing and all that. So I was like, okay,
Uh,
I'm just not gonna, it's not gonna bother me to not watch sports. It was, you're not gonna watch any football. I'm like, I got other things I can do. So,
yeah.
to not watch Jeff Daniels movies now is really not that difficult of a task to complete, I
Yeah.
just, the only one for me that's gonna hurt is gonna be Dumb and Dumber, because I
Yeah.
do love Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, that was my favorite comedy, I think, Dumb and Dumber. And,
Yeah. So I
that's
mean,
what I
I
think
love
of.
it.
Yeah. I just that scene where Jeff Daniels, the lady, Jim Carrey hands his drink to her and she smells it and goes, "Oh, yours is bad." And then Jeff Daniels goes, "How about mine?" And he sticks his finger in her nose instead of the glass. Do you remember that scene?
No.
Oh my God, dude, you gotta, well, I'll play it. I'll send it to you. It's hilarious. They're
Okay.
trying to get free drinks and they drink a little bit of it and free chips. And
Are you
they're
sure
going,
we got the right? Are you sure we got the right Dumb and Dumber?
yeah, yeah. I'll send
All
it to
right.
you. It's a hilarious
Okay.
scene.
All right.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there, and each time I watch it, I find a little nuance that's funny, that I didn't see before. How you
Mm.
it's kind of like in movies you rewatch them, you learn something. Bible, you reread it, and you learn something, right? Each thing,
Mhm.
the more time you spend with it, the more you learn from it. So, yeah, you got to
Yep.
watch. I'll send it to you later. It's pretty good.
I got a chance in the first movie that I did, this movie called Lonely Street, with like Jay Moore and Robert Patrick played the
Yeah,
T-1000. A guy that I got to spend some time with on set, we were hanging out back in the green room, was Mike Starr, and he's the guy that played Mental, the guy that was the assassin. I don't want to say
yeah,
the hitman. He was
yeah,
the hitman that was following with him when they were mock. Yeah, and he's like, guys,
yeah, yeah,
and they give him
yeah,
the pills and he dies. So I got a chance to work with him, and he was a really, really cool cat, And I just, I was like, look, I mean, I got to be professional here. Obviously, I've seen a lot of your work, and he was in Goodfellas, some stuff like that. But I said, I got to ask you, what was it like on the set of Dumb and Dumber? And he's like, oh my, it was hilarious. So I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah, I
I'm a
can
huge
imagine
fan.
what it's, yeah, I would imagine Jim Carrey being a method actor, whatever part he's playing, it's where he's gonna be in between takes, right? They said, like,
Yep.
the one with Andy Kaufman, nobody could really take him anymore on set. I guess he was just constantly Andy Kaufman.
Mm-mm.
And so I
No,
imagine
no,
Dumb
I'm
and
I'm I'm sure that was the case. Like, he's not probably fun to work with, but to watch all of the outtakes, because I mean, they're not just nailing it in one, especially with a comedy. He's doing it
right.
all these different ways. That would be, that would have been pretty
Yeah,
cool to see all that happen.
yeah. You
The
know
ones
who,
that didn't make it to film.
yeah, so you know who does that a lot is Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn does a lot of improv. So I did a scene with him in the breakup, and when he was doing our scene, he doesn't get the lines right on. And then a lot of times he'll forget, and then he'll say line, and then they throw him the line, and then he's okay. Now we're going to do our own thing, and then you redo the scene, and however the words come out, but you get the general gist of it, right? So it's just
Mhm.
kind of funny how there's a lot of actors that do that. They add their own little twang to the scene. Um, that's not what the writers had put in there, and it's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? You get a good scene. I mean,
Yep.
there's been a lot of supposedly Arnold in Terminator was the one that came up with "I'll be back" when
Mm-hmm.
Cameron wanted him to say "I will be back," and he said "I'll be back." It was
Mm-hmm.
became one of the most famous movie lines of all time. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of
Yep.
times those morph into other things. So
That is one. I will say, you and I shit on acting quite a bit, but I will tell you that is one of the cool things about when you're on set and you're actually working is the little nuances that you can bring to a character that really are just you. I mean, I've
mhm.
I've done that in a couple things as well, where I'm just like, I'm just going to throw a little Mikeism into this real quick and see if it sticks, and if it does, it's
Yeah,
like that's kind of fun.
yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah.
or doing it a certain way, that it's like, you know what, I'm just going to do something a little goofier here and see what happens. Just
Mhm.
things like him, like I'll be back. Like, well, can I just say it this way? Let me
Yeah,
just try
yeah,
it once. Like, oh, it does sound better.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it is funny. You just do little things here and there to kind of add
mhm,
your twang to the character, so to speak.
right.
It
So when you're
won't.
watching with your buddies, you can be like, the script didn't call for that. That was my idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That 99 cents will get you a cup of coffee, or that and your 17-cent residual will be on your way to getting a cup of coffee.
17, yep, yep. I've gotten a few of those. I've gotten a 1 penny once, and I'm
You
like,
can get a free drink at Residuals in Burbank, right?
"No, I didn't know that."
There's a bar in Burbank called Residuals. This is the fact. And if you go in and you take in your 1 cent residual check, which I got a few of them too, if you go in and put that up there, they give you a free drink. So the place is like covered in 1 cent residual checks by all
Oh
the
my gosh,
actors.
that's hilarious.
And if you think about it, that's actually building I don't want to say a loyal customer base, but a customer base that would last, because
Mhm.
anybody that's coming in there that has 1 cent checks has already been in LA for a while. So it's
Yeah.
not going to be a bunch of people who just show up, get their ass kicked, and leave. These are
Yeah, yeah,
people, it's
yeah.
like, if you're getting 1 cent, it means it's something you probably did about 5-6 years ago at least.
Well,
And you're
that
still
one
here.
was like 18 years ago. It was Walker, Texas Ranger. I
Right?
just seen, yeah, it was funny, and then time went on, it got syndicated over and over, and it just kept dropping. And one day I get this check, I go, "You got to be kidding me, man!" 1 cent. Why even print it, right? There
It's
should be something
exactly
where
what I
just let
think.
it accumulate, and then they
I
send you a check.
Yep. I was thinking the same thing. Why?
But
Why even
think of
send it?
this, Mike. Think of this, all right? What
Mhm.
are most actors? Liberals, right? And what do liberals want to do? They don't want to waste, right? Be careful of the environment, but yet they send you a 1 cent check printed on how many trees got killed for that 1 cent paper. And they can't come
Uh-huh.
up with an idea to just give you a total of, once you reach $1, you get a check. So the whole thing's just wacky. It's just,
I would have thought that there'd be some sort of automatic deposit by now. I don't know how that. I mean,
you would think, yeah.
just to make things easier. But I honestly though, I'm glad there isn't, because it is fun going to the mailbox, just waiting to see what's in store. Ooh,
Yeah,
twelve
yeah,
fifty
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I got
yeah.
1251. That is
Uh-huh.
awesome. That came
Yeah, it
from
is fun.
nowhere.
You open it up and it's like winning like or no, you're getting like that prize in the bottom of the cereal box. And you open
Yes.
it up, it's like, oh, look what I got.
Uh, Well, sometimes it's like, oh, okay, this is gonna pay some bills. That's
Yeah,
awesome. But you're right. Then it's like after those first couple residual checks come, all the rest of them, yeah,
yeah,
that's when it's totally the prize at the bottom of a Cracker Jack box, because
yeah,
yeah, it's like usually somewhere between about, on the high end, 40 to $50, on the low end, obviously a penny, but usually your sweet spot somewhere like $12, between about like 12 and $35 is usually where they're at. It's like,
yeah. I'm
okay,
still getting
this
pretty
this is
decent
cool.
checks for Dark Knight.
Are you
That
really?
long ago. I'm kidding. I kid you not. Some really good checks still.
Well,
I'm
you got
shocked.
one more coming your way, because the gym I go to here in Huntsville is called Phase 3, and they've got a theater upstairs, a cardio theater with all the stuff. So I'll go in there with the treadmill set really really high, walking when they show a movie that I like. And honestly, yesterday, you can check their website if you don't believe me, they were showing The
Okay.
Dark Knight. So I was
Yeah.
like, yep, and I saw you clear as day. So woohoo. So throw another 17 cents your way, Johnny
Yeah,
boy.
yeah. No, it was more than 17 cents. I'm still getting upwards of close to, the three-digit number.
Oh
So,
wow.
yeah, isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So,
That is crazy. But you're talking about one of the highest grossing films of all time. I mean,
mhm.
I haven't really watched a whole lot lately, because now every movie it seems like making between 100 and $2 million. But back in the day, when like the top 10 were, movies that had made
Yeah.
around like 290, 300,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
million on the low end.
Yeah.
Um, The Dark Knight shot like to the top 4. It
Yeah.
was like over 650 million domestically.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's over $1 billion worldwide. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Yeah. Not three
awesome.
digit, actually 4 digit. It's like up into the higher 4 digit numbers. And I'm like, each time I get it, I'm like, are you kidding me? This thing is still pulling it in, man. So
That's
I can't
awesome.
imagine what some of these actors that are working tons of like these major flicks. A lot of them, like the main stars, they do a buyout where they either
Mhm.
get like part of the overall purse, or they try to get more money for whatever their part was and how big it was. So it's going to be different than a guy like me who's doing like a day player or a little bit more extended version of a day player. But yeah, and then
Yep.
too, I did stunt work on that. So I was an actor and I did stunts. So I kind of collected two forms of pay on it. But
And I've had stunt checks that are much larger than regular,
actually,
performance checks.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's
yep.
crazy. I mean, sometimes when I did Borat, was it the second Borat? I went over there, and because there were so few stunt performers, it's kind of like all the money goes into a pool and it's divided up amongst them. You know, this one there were very few stunt performers, so all this money was dumped into a small little pool, and I was like, wow. And then again, it was just one of those deals. I don't even think I got camera time. I might have just briefly, but it was
Hmm.
just being there, doing what they asked us to do, and boom, you're on the stunt list. And then when the stunt checks go out, it was like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, pretty cool. It is pretty cool. The stunt stuff, you can make some good money. Like my buddies, they've done so many films. I mean, they're just raking it in. So it's kind
yeah.
of, amazing when you see if you get hooked up with a good crew that works a lot, you can make some really good money.
And I got to tell you, man, the stuff because when I did Borat, it was purely stunts. The stuff that you hear in a stunt bus going back and forth the set. So we're sitting in there. Charlie Grisham, he's the guy that booked me on this. Awesome guy, and he was the stunt coordinator, but he also does the Jackass stuff, right?
Hmm.
So we're in there, but he's in there talking, and he's the first day he gets in there, and myself and there were like other guys that had done like Matrix movies and all sorts of stuff like this. They all get in there, and he's like, "All right, ooh, hang on," and he's looking at his phone, and he says, "Okay, yeah, all right, who wants to make $700 tomorrow?" And we're all like, "Whoa, what do we got? What do we got to do?" And he's like, "Well, you got to put on a Ku Klux Klan outfit and try to get into the Republican National Convention."
Oh, geez.
I was like, and then the one guy's like, "Well, is he going to pull the hood off?" Or
Yeah,
I was like,
man, could you imagine?
no, I couldn't. So, because the whole thing is the joke is that Borat is trying to, get in with the Republicans and he can't get in. They won't let him in. So he's like, "Oh, I'm going to dress like the Klan," which the funny part is those are the Democrats, as we
Yeah,
know.
yeah, right.
The Klan was the Democrat part. But anyway, so he's going to try to get into the Republic. That was a great irony. I'm like, this dude probably doesn't
Yeah,
even have a
right.
clue. But yeah, he tries to get in there. So then the next day, we're in the bus again, and Charlie's looking at his phone, and he's like, "Okay, who wants to make another $700? Like, what do we got to do?" And he's like, "First of all, does anybody have any heart issues?" We're all like, "No." So I guess there's this scene in this Jackass movie that he did the stunt coordinator work on, where one of them grabs an electric eel, and they got to grab the other dude, and you got to be the dude
Yeah,
that's the grounder. So
yeah.
it's like you got to. They test all these pranks or whatever it is they're doing before they do it. So he wanted to have somebody there to test this thing out, where a dude grabs an electric eel and then grabs me for $700, and I'm like,
Oh,
"Nope." One dude was actually wrestling around with it. I'm like, for $700, no,
yeah.
absolutely. I mean, I don't like being shocked at all. So
Yeah, right.
that would have to be in the, we're talking 10, 20 at least,
I wouldn't do it at all, man. You never know what's, gonna actually go through you. I would have
That's a
to,
good point.
yeah. Everybody
Yeah.
reacts to that electricity differently too. It's like I had a friend when I was a kid got shot getting a kite out of a tree, and dude, he flew out and he had burns in his stomach where his belt buckle was. Like he had a hole like this big, and then he had change in his pockets, and it burned holes right through his legs because it came out through the coins. And he was messed up for a long time. But then when he came back to school, he showed us, and I mean, the power that must have came through that electricity to shoot out of his body like that and create those types of burns it's pretty scary. So electricity, that's the only thing I won't do when I'm doing handyman stuff is I won't do electricity. I'm just afraid. I don't want to get shocked.
Have you seen any of those where they catch lightning on camera when it hits a tree or something?
Yeah,
And then
man,
just yeah,
the
yeah,
power. It's God's finger, it looks like coming down with that in a tornado, right?
yes. Yeah, that's I'm with you, man. I've got no desire to mess with. Well, as you know, our dock down there at the lake, when they put the electricity to it to have lights on it and everything, they have these like cutoff switches. I believe
Yeah.
that's what it is. And it's like, I told them make ours as super sensitive as possible. Like if electricity even begins to touch anywhere towards that, just zip, it's out, flip the breaker. So, but because of it now, I can't leave power on the dock because all it takes is like one thunderstorm, which is Alabama. There's a lot of them, one thunderstorm and boom, I come back
Yeah.
and the power's on, all the breakers are switched off. So,
Oh, wow. Okay. And then you got to go back and flip them all on.
flip them back all on
You have
again.
to go back up to the house, Mike, to do that?
No, thankfully they're on the deck, but
Oh, it's right on
I tried to, yeah. So I have security cameras out there that are solar because I don't trust just leaving the power on because the power goes on, those things are done. So at least the solar one,
right.
it'll stay on, and that's just because it's again going back to electricity, man. I'm not playing games,
Oh.
Hey, speaking of pop culture, so Malcolm Jamal Warner, Ozzy, did you happen to see the other day? I got a kick out of this. It was the WNBA had, I think they had their All-Star game or something, and they were all wearing shirts that says "Pay us what you owe us."
So they actually lose money.
Yes.
At WNBA, they've been losing money for years.
Yes.
So all of a sudden now and then they want to try and smash Caitlin Clark all the time. It's just amazing to me. She's the one that's brought more, advertising and more industry to women's basketball than anything, and yet they're just trashing this poor girl. And it just amazes that I don't. And now they think that they're owed this amount of money because of this girl that they're trying to actually get kicked out of the league. It's nuts. I don't understand any of the logic behind it.
Did you see I don't watch award shows, but I happen to catch because I do like Shane Gillis. I watched his monologue. Did you see that at the for the ESPYs?
Yeah. I didn't see it. I heard the roundup on it. So
did you hear what he said about Caitlin Clark?
Yeah. Go ahead, say it. Yeah.
Well, no, he's like Caitlin Clark, when she retires or whatever, she's going to definitely get a job at the Waffle House so she can do what she loves to do, which is fist fighting black women.
Man, yeah. And I heard it didn't go over well, but a lot of these comedians don't care. Like Ricky Gervais when he was at
doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean
Dave Chappelle doesn't care.
Yeah.
Chris Rock doesn't care. I think that's awesome. I mean,
it's comedy, right? You shouldn't have to worry about that. If it's funny, it's funny no matter what you do, right?
Yep. I certainly laughed. That was, but yeah, I just can't get over the sense of entitlement they must have, not understanding that they are. I mean, the NBA subsidizes it, so without the NBA, they go out of business. There's no money there, and it's just to be that and it's like, and now they never have said anything before. It's like now Caitlin Clark shows up, and I think she's probably balling. I mean, I don't know. I think her league salary is like something like 70 grand, but in endorsements, she's just making a truckload of cash. But the rest of them are starting to see that, like, oh, maybe that's what's going on. Where they're like, well, hey, we're playing too. We all should be. And going back to socialism, there's your socialism right there. Well, wait, she's got this. Well, I'm working too. I'm playing the same game. Why don't I get the same money? Because nobody wants to watch you. It's kind of like back in the day when I actually cared about basketball. I would pay to watch Michael Jordan. I'd pay to watch Larry Bird, pay to watch Magic Johnson. But if you're telling me that, like, okay, Bill Laimbeer, who I liked a lot, he was the center for the Pistons. He was a really, really good player. But it's like, if it's a league full of Bill Laimbeers, I'd be like, is he a good role player? Absolutely. But is he the one that's putting butts in seats? No. I mean, with Isaiah Thomas and Dennis Rodman and those guys, yes. But what's that?
He used to get in a lot of brawls, so I'm sure some people would go to watch him just for those fights, not his athletic ability.
Right. Him and Rick Mahorn were the back when they were the bad boys. They were
Just like hockey, we used to have his name was Keith Magnuson. He was on the Blackhawks. He had no teeth in his mouth. He had gotten into so many fights.
Do you remember the Red Wings had Bob Probert and Joey Kosher, and that was their Bruise Brothers, and all they did is just skated around and protected Steve Yzerman. Anybody got near him, they started fighting.
Yeah. He went on the Hawks for a brief period, and then he went down into the minor leagues and kept playing. And I saw him play. I was when the Chicago Wolves were playing. Probert was on their team, and he was pretty decent when you'd look at the minor leagues, but he was old at that point. And he was still getting in fights back then, in that minor leagues. And I'm thinking, man, this guy's he's got to be sore when he gets up in the morning. He's fighting in almost every game. It's after a while you say to yourself, aren't you tired of it?
There are two specific stereotypical looks that I see that make me run the other way if that person wishes violence upon me. One is if I see cauliflower ears, nope, you're good. And
Mhm.
two, if I see a dude that's missing teeth and says he plays hockey, don't want any part of that either.
Don't forget this one.
That's right. Lip smashing. Wrestlers and hockey players, man, I would want nothing to do with them toe to toe.
Yeah.
Those guys, that's all they do. I mean, hockey players. I remember, knowing some hockey players. It's like, they got to go train on the heavy bag, that sort of a thing, because that sooner or later they're going to get in a fight. That just blows
Mhm.
my mind.
What was the old saying? I went to a boxing match and a hockey fight broke out, or a hockey game broke out, or something like that.
Totally. Well, hey, let's go down this rabbit hole. You know what? We don't even need to talk about Jeffrey Epstein, because I think that and the Obama, now that he's committed treason or whatever's going on there, all this stuff. Bottom line is, like you and I talked a little bit off camera before, is anything going to happen to anybody?
Nope. Nope. And
I
it's
mean,
just really frustrating after a while. It's like, don't even talk about it. Don't even talk about it unless you have arrests in the books for it. And you're going to go out and arrest them. Otherwise, I don't want to know about it. I'm just tired of it. I'm really, and I know you're a big Bongino fan, but dude, I'm telling you, I could tell he was lying and he wasn't happy about lying. So there's something else going on there. And, I think, just my opinion, and I know you got one too. I just feel like maybe Trump does want to release him, but he doesn't want to have the repercussions of all these people. If whatever happens with it, he knows something bad's probably hidden in there that a lot of us don't know, and it could be very damaging to society. So what he's doing is saying, I'm not going to release it now. It's not there. And people are going to call him out. And then he knew the Democrats would jump on that bandwagon because they were quiet the entire time when Epstein was really big news. And when he died, you didn't hear about it on anything. Oh, Jeffrey Epstein died. They didn't talk. Now, since Trump's involved, all they do is talk about it. So what I think he's doing is, now the Democrats are pushing in Congress to have a hearing on it, then it's going to all get released. And Trump's going to go, I didn't release it. He just played, chess. So he's basically, what he's doing is he's pulling back, making them think that he's afraid of it. What are you trying to hide now? And yet now the Democrats get involved and they're really pushing it. And Trump's just going to step back and laugh when all the stuff comes out and what the repercussions are going to be of it. And he's going to say, hey, I didn't do it. The Democrats did. That's what I think he's doing. But who knows, right?
Yeah, that's it's just, but like you said about Bongino, I mean, I faithfully listened to Dan Bongino's show, and I thought if the way he talked, rah 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 and all this, and it's like if anybody gets into an office that's going to be able to start at least making some arrests to at least get these things to court, I thought it was going to be him. I mean, and again, I'm going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give the administration the benefit of the doubt. We're only like what, 8 months in, whatever it is.
Right.
So let's just see what happens. Maybe they're getting the ducks in the row, but I just am trying really hard right now. Well, two things. One, until I start seeing people in handcuffs or, hanging upside down with birds picking their eyeballs out because they're so horrible. Until I start seeing that, I don't think I'm really going to care that much anymore. And I'm not going to let the news stories dictate what I'm thinking, because just like you said, for all we know, Trump is playing 4D chess right now, trying to get them to come out and get excited because that list is full of their prominent figures. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's because he's on it. I would probably, I would doubt that.
I so doubt that. And I'll tell you why. They spent his first four years of his term trying to take him down. They even made stuff up and they couldn't take him down. And then before this election, they arrested him on BS charges. How many times they indicted him? They had this lady go after him civilly, and they didn't allow any of his evidence against her in court. That Judge Egerton, or whatever the heck his name. I mean, so many things. You look at Letitia James, Jack Smith, all of it was a farce. And you could see they wanted to take him down. If there was any inclination Trump was involved, they would have sacrificed 10 of their own people to take Trump down. But they didn't, because there wasn't anything on him. But you're listening to CNN and MSNBC, they're like just stirring the pot of all these people that just live and die by their broadcasts, right? And I'm just sitting there laughing. I'm going, you really think Trump is involved with it now? After all these years, that they went after him, and now they're going to go after him, right? It's
Yep.
so pathetic.
It's crazy. Well, how about
That's
that?
just
Did you see the Hunter Biden thing?
no. What happened with that?
Oh, he did an interview. The dude drops, he probably in a 30-second clip, he dropped 15 F-bombs. But he went on there and he's talking about all these people that like stabbed his dad in the back and down with George Clooney and all these. I'm just wondering if he's going to start spilling some beans, because now the dude is not the first son anymore. He's not, I'm sure all his business endeavors have probably come to a screeching halt. And he's out there
Yeah.
just spitting vitriol. So yeah, I would,
Well, hopefully it's
you have
not
to look it
Obama.
up.
A lot of it because Obama stabbed him in the back pretty hard.
I
You know.
think, well, that's just it, is this whole thing with, the treason thing that Trump's talking about, how they set up Russiagate and did all that. Hunter might be a key witness. So you never, I mean, imagine that, because he does not like the Obamas,
Yeah. Right. I can see what he's talking about, but and I think what happened is it's like, when you got thieves, thieves are going to start turning on each other, right?
Mhm.
And that's what we have here. You have crooks, and eventually, if you're a crook, you're going to turn on somebody for whatever reason you're turning on them, right? And so
Yep.
that's what's happening here. I think eventually they're going to start eating their own. It's going to start catching up to them. At least that's what I
Yeah,
hope,
that's just,
But we'll see what happens,
yeah,
Mike. Like we were talking, it's like I don't even want to hear about it unless you're going to arrest somebody. Otherwise, don't talk about it. I don't want to hear it. You just each time you
absolutely.
open your mouth and nothing happens, you lose credibility. You're out the door. You just tell me you got no balls, or you're just basically just looking for clicks or whatever. Just so
Mhm.
over it. I
I
don't
am
even
too.
watch the news anymore, buddy. I get this paper that comes in. It gives me little snippets of all the headlines. And if it interests me and I want to read more, I read more. It gives me the gist of everything. And
What's that
that's
called?
it's called the pour over, Pour, and then over, the pour over. And it's a really great little clip. And if you want, I'll forward the next one I get to you. And then you can
Yeah.
get a subscription and it gets even deeper. But I mean, I've never had like an incident where I've mentioned something they've said and it was like, oh, that's BS. That's just an Instagram post you got taken on. They're legitimate news organization. So that's kind of only thing I even got off. I mean, you could see I'm not on Facebook or Instagram anymore. I hardly ever go on there. Dude, I'm just so tired of the whole political thing. It's just it
Yep.
wears on me. And if I got my Instagram or my Facebook open, I'm just flipping through it, and I get done after about 3 hours. I go, wow, I just completely fell into the vortex. And it's
There
like
it is.
5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds,
Yep.
just
Yep.
swiping up, and my life has gone by. Now I'm so much more productive. It's
So
crazy.
true. So true. I even got to stop. What I'll usually do in the mornings, you're usually curious to know if we're at war, or if something horrific happened that will, directly affect my family. I usually just check. I go Fox, then CNN. And if I do happen to catch the first headline or two, they're usually the same, but just written completely different. And then I just make up my mind from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go to Google and I'll just usually Google has the some decent like news clippets that come out of like the biggest news at that particular moment in time. So I use that. I'll open it up and look at Google and say, okay, this is going on, and I'll dig a little deeper if I'm interested. But majority of the stuff, I'm just not interested anymore. I'm trying to get focused. Like we're talking with Kat about redoing our EPKs and things like that to get our names out there.
So
So
if you're going to bring it up and people are listening, this conversation, what's an EPK, John?
an electronic press package or
Hmm.
a press kit.
And what
So
are those used for?
well, you send them out to agents and things like that and production companies to try and get acting jobs.
Okay, so well, like, hey, let's bring everybody along for the ride. This is us talking. What are you going to do for yours? Because she said she wanted us to do some kind of like an intro
Yeah,
clip.
yeah, it's an info clip. She gave us the 4 options to do for like the format. I think I'm just going to do the video one through a PDF because most everybody has PDF. And so what
What's
they'll do is they'll click on the PDF and it'll instead of the PDF file actually opening, your clip will open and it'll give your brief introduction that she told us to do. So
Hmm.
you'll click on a PDF, then hey, I'm Mike Foster, blah, blah, and then you go into it. And then when it's finished, it pops up your whole resume on the EPK. So
Wait,
now you're into the
is she going to do this, or because we just have to shoot a video, right?
Yeah, she's looking into it, but I've also did a little digging. I also did a little digging, and
Mm.
I called Adobe, and there is something you can do where I just mentioned. You click on it, and then the graphic will pop up first, and once it's finished playing, then the actual PDF shows. So that would
Okay,
be
so
pretty cool.
what are you gonna do? 30 seconds? A minute? What?
She wanted us originally 2 minutes. I said, man, you can't. It's got to be 1 minute. These casting directors have an attention span of about 2 seconds, same with agents. And if you don't grab them right off the bat, you cannot start off with, you're like, hey, I'm Mike Foster. Hey, I'm John Turk. They're going to click. Who's this guy? He's nothing here, nothing new here, nothing to see.
So,
So
so
I'm going to
speaking of
try.
which,
Yeah. Well, she gave you that clip of her opinion on what we should do, and it just sounds too much like a resume, like like you're hiring
uh-huh.
for a company. Which I'm going to have a talk with her about it, but
I think
yeah,
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
what
start off and I'm gonna do the whole do you remember speaking of Dumb and Dumber, where it's like, Harry, go over to the bar and talk me up so I don't have to brag about myself later. Feel like doing something like that.
and
Like,
then
well,
put the vibe out, Mike, and then sit and put the vibe out. You remember put the vibe? I'll be out the bar putting the vibe out.
put that vibe. I love it.
Gets his butt out and he pulls his shirt jacket up.
I love it. So I was thinking about doing something maybe kind of like that, trying to be comedic a little bit, being like,
Yeah,
I'm here to talk myself up so I don't have to brag about myself later, And
yeah,
then,
yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm Michael Foster, you know. Yeah, we'll see.
What
I
were
don't
you
know.
thinking of doing? What version? Because there was a web version, there was a couple other versions on there that are really hard to use because if people don't have the format, they can't open it. You know?
Well, that I honestly, I just kind of glanced at it. I thought I was just going to film a video and send it to Kat, and she was going to have her EPK person do it. So I was just planning on shooting a video, and what I was going to do is I was going to do one landscape, and then I was going to take that and put it into that AI program that we got that we
Yeah,
use that puts our little captions up.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was gonna feed it into that. So they're
And
looking
see
at, I
what it
forgot what
go
she
up and
calls it, like long video or
would it
whatever.
make a 30-second video then or no?
Oh yeah, totally. So you get in
But
there and
but
talk,
how would
and
it
the
make
AI,
but how would you there wouldn't be a beginning or an ending then, right? Because that's usually in middle clips it's showing.
I don't know, but that's
Oh,
what I'm gonna
okay.
throw in. But it would know to go through there, and I think it knows what you see. You can edit it. I can edit it, but I think it just would go through there if you want to. All right, let me start at the beginning here. I think what I'm going to do, and shut me down on any of this if it doesn't make sense. I used Chat GPT for the first time the other day. I
Oh,
know
you
I
did?
sound like a boomer. Oh yeah,
Good.
and I just decided to go down the rabbit hole on myself. And then Karina couldn't help it. She comes over and she's like, "So I'm like Michael Wayne Foster," and it starts going through talking about all the stuff that I've done and blah 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 blah. And then Karina's like, "Oh, put me in," and I was like, "Okay." I read in Karina Foster, and it comes up Michael Wayne Foster's wife.
Oh, man.
She was like, she's like, I'm published. I'm published. I got in a medical journal, and she was looking for it. It took her forever for it to come up. And I'm like, yeah, but I was an extra on Lonely Street. Look at that. Boom. And it's just because she doesn't do social media that much, so that's probably
Yeah,
why.
well,
But
she's,
but I, yeah, she doesn't care. So I digress. What I was going to say is maybe go down the John Turk rabbit hole on Chat GPT. It will give you a bunch of ideas, and just either cut, paste, whatever you're going to do, have that there. Do 1 minute of just talking about all that different stuff. Then shoot me over the clip. I'll throw it into that AI that cuts everything down and gives the captions on it, and we'll see
Mhm.
what it comes up with. If you don't like it, we just scrap
Yeah.
it. No harm, no foul.
So
What do
to
you think?
answer your question, I'm probably gonna do 30 seconds.
Okay.
I'm just gonna rifle through it, and I'm gonna try to add a little humor to it and just be a little more personable, right? I mean, you don't wanna be a
Mhm.
robot on there and, like, doing your typical, "Hi, I'm John Turk," or "Hi, I'm Mike Foster," because it's just they're so turned off. They've seen that a million times, and you just gotta do something different to catch their eye and get them to keep watching. So that's what I gotta come up with. I did a little bit of the GPT version on mine, and I asked it I put in there, uh, "Please write me a 30-second to 1 minute, script introducing myself to casting directors in the film industry, and please make it comedic." And then I put all the things I've done, and please talk about these things. And it made some witty stuff. But the problem
Wait, it
was
really did all that?
yeah. So and what it yeah. And so when I had them do that, I liked certain parts of it and certain parts they did it. And I would say, okay, leave out this part. And then they would take out the good part and leave the crappy one. And then and each time you try to get it to correct it, and it rebuilds on it in the wrong way. So you're gonna get ideas from ChatGPT, but you're not gonna get a full thing that you're gonna really like. It's just gonna be, and some of the comedy in there was so ridiculous. So I mean, it'll give you one or two good ideas. And here's what I use ChatGPT for. If I have to write a paper, say for example, like with my fitness blogs, if there's a blog I want to write, I put it in a ChatGPT and I say, could you write me a blog on this subject and talk about boom, boom, boom? And it lays it out in a bulletproof format. And all I got to do is basically proofread it and then add what it left out. And it usually leaves out about 40% of what's on the topic. And I got to add it, but it shortens my blog. It used to take me sometimes 6-7 hours to write a blog, because I have to like try to, not only you're trying to give it information, you're trying to organize it right, you're trying to present it properly, you're trying to make it understandable to the lay person, and it's hard. But ChatGPT gives you the lay person download, and then you add the important aspects that are left out by ChatGPT. And it still is time consuming. It takes me now, instead of 6 hours, it takes me about an hour and a half to write my blog, because it covers all the basic stuff that is time consuming that I'm bored with and don't want to write anyways. So when going back to the acting thing, all you got to do is just plug in there what you want it to do. And once you can narrow down what to say to ChatGPT, you'll get a decent script. But it's trying to figure out how to get the best out of it by what you tell it to do. See, each time you talk to it and you tell it something, it'll tell you something different, because it might be using one aspect of what you told it more than another. Because you can't just tell it, tell me about Mike Foster. It right away searches online about Mike Foster, and it'll tell you. You'll get a general overview if you really don't want to think much. Hey, tell me about John Turk. Present John Turk as an actor to the film industry. And then it'll go search John Turk, and it'll tell you about him. And then you go, oh, you know what? Could you make it funnier? And then it'll add a little humor to it.
I got to try this. I had no idea. I literally am using it to make birthday cards. Like, seriously. I was like, Karina's telling me, she's like, hey, I think you can like make it. So my buddy Ben had a birthday last week, and she's like, I think you can make like a funny card if you put it in ChatGPT and tell it what to do. And I'm like, okay. I honestly, John, all I could think about are those pictures of like John Connor, from Terminator 2. He's got like a disgusted look on his face staring, and the meme says, John Connor watching y'all make friends with AI.
Yeah.
I was like, so I've stayed away from it, right? Kind of like TikTok.
Hey, going back, that's an interesting subject right there. We're basically going into the Terminator times if these machines take over, right? Like they're saying a lot of them are doing.
It's exactly what's happening. Think about it. We're putting dependent right now. You have put 60% of your blog into the hands of a machine. It's not 100% John Turk anymore. No, you're right. 60% of it's just like the basic stuff you want to give to the G-pop, because they don't even understand, the difference between an egg and beef, But that being said, you've given 60% control. Right now, you are no longer 50% in the endeavor. You're 40%. So the machines own 60% of you now, Johnny boy.
Yeah, I know, man.
But it's crazy. So I took mine and I took a picture of my buddy Ben and threw it in there, and I was like, picture with Donald, because he's a big fisherman, picture with Donald Trump fishing. And then it kind of came up, and it comes up. It's like, do you want it to be humorous? What do you want the background to look like? This, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, I answer all this stuff. And this picture comes out of him and Donald Trump with this biggest hug, laughing. Trump's in a suit with a MAGA hat on. Ben's got a fishing pole, and they're behind some pond. And I'm like, oh, and it looked real. I couldn't believe how real it looked.
Oh, they're doing that now with everything. Did you ever see
man?
Dude, you gotta, if you can get a chance, check out somebody made a porno with AI of AOC. And it looks like her doing the nasty.
Stop it.
I kid you not. It could be her. I mean, it's scary what they're going to be able to do in defamation and things like that. I mean, it's for real, man. I mean, this thing is like, I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, who found this video? I didn't know she was doing that. And then, next thing you know, that's all over the internet, how people are doing things with, like they did it with Tom Cruise. They did one on Tom Cruise. It's scary, man. They can put you in any situation and make it look for real.
Think about, oh my gosh, you just gave me a thought. It's sick and twisted thought, but still a thought. And I know we've talked about porn before on some of our earlier episodes, but I mean,
Yeah,
imagine if it comes to looking at porn, you can take whatever your fantasy girl, whoever you like, let's say it's like, okay, my celebrity crush. I really don't have one, but I remember probably 10 years ago, I would have said Eva Mendes.
right.
I thought Eva Mendes pretty. You could put in a picture of Eva Mendes, and then I could be like, and a picture of me, and you could like probably, how do I say this? Personalize your porn. So instead of
Yeah.
watching some other dude, you could be the actor in it if you wanted to do this stuff.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, listen, look, I didn't even know this, but AOC actually went and brought a bill forward because of that. And
Good.
yeah, I know.
Good. All right.
Well, it's
All right,
defamation.
AOC. That's
Yeah.
a good one. Yeah.
That's the
Because
well, it's because it was her in it. So she wasn't helping the people, she was helping herself.
right.
You know, but the whole thing is I mean, it's scary, brother, how they can just go out there and just completely defame you. And then now think about what Trump went through, with all that stuff. I mean, all the lies they did constantly do on the media. He's already won like a bunch of lawsuits from defamation. It's insane. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse.
Just
Can you
the thought.
imagine being a kid growing up in this time now? Oh,
No,
man.
and this it goes back to what I was saying just a second ago about this personalized porn. That's one of the reasons too. I hardly ever post pictures of my daughter. And Karina's like, don't put pictures of Maggie on. Like, I have to like ask, can I use this one? It's pretty cute. She's like,
Yeah.
no, or
Yeah.
okay, that kind of a thing.
It's
But
like
it's
the
like,
OnlyFans. Remember OnlyFans?
oh yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, imagine if they could scan a picture of you or your child or whatever and create porn out of it. That's horrific. I mean, you and I have got enough pictures floating around the internet with our shirts off. It probably wouldn't be hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I
You
know.
know?
It's scary, man. I look at it now and I'm just going, wow, the
Hmm,
times we're in, it's
man.
nuts. It just
It's like,
makes you wonder, like, if AI is still so infant stage right now, what's it going to be able to do in the future?
exactly. Exactly. That's why I think it's a good idea for our country. They're investing all this money in satellites and weapons and all this. At least have a few good EMP bursts, because if Skynet takes over, we got to have something to fight back with.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
couple good
right.
EMP bursts to just shut it
Yeah.
down. Yeah, we'll start from fresh. We'll start
You
fresh.
got a Faraday kit?
Of course.
Yeah.
What a
How'd
Faraday
did
bag.
you make yours?
What's that?
Did you make your own Faraday kit or no?
No, do you know how to?
Yeah, it's real simple. You get those old metal garbage cans and
Yeah.
you line it with cardboard on the inside of the metal garbage can, cardboard in the bottom, cardboard in the top, with and then when you put the lid on it, you put all your electronics in there, but it can't touch the metal. That's why you put cardboard in there. So you stack like all your electronic items in there that you don't want the EMP to ruin. And then when you put the lid on the garbage can, you got cardboard there too, but you also put aluminum foil on it to seal it in. And then that protects it from all the electromagnetic pulse. And so I
Really?
got like my laptop in there, another phone. I got a bunch of other electronic stuff in it
When
to
do you put that in there though?
when
Yeah. Like just in case, or it's like,
it has to be in there permanently. Only able to open it when in an emergency. It stays in there because you don't know when an EMP is going to hit. So that's the whole point of a Faraday kit.
okay, wait, but your computer's in there. So aren't you using your computer now?
It's a backup computer. It's a spare one.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's really basically it's my iPad. So I put
oh,
the
okay.
iPad in there, and every like couple months I'll pull it out and run an update on it just so it's updated, And I do that
Okay.
with the phone as well. And I got a compass in there. I got all kinds of stuff. I got an electromagnetic reader, so it reads radiation. So like
Uh-huh.
if we get hit by a nuclear bomb or whatever, it'll read the radiation where it's safe. I got potassium nitrate, where I think it's nitrate, in case you need to take it to protect your thyroid from all the radiation.
Oh, potassium iodine.
Potassium iodide, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know why I know that? Is that
What?
after Fukushima happened in Japan, I owned my sports nutrition store, and all the boys in West Hollywood were afraid that they were eating Japanese sushi. So
Yeah,
they all,
yeah. Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
used to
right.
sell so much of that stuff. It was crazy. Yeah. Everyone was worried about radiation fallout over in California. So everybody was on potassium iodine. Made some good money on that one. It was
Yeah,
that was
I'm
a pretty good
sure.
deal. It was like,
I'm sure.
I think we were buying bottles of them for like $4, and the guy that owned the store that it was before we is before we opened up the store that I was a partner in. I worked at the other one for a minute, and he was selling them for like 25 or $30, bought them for like $4. I was like, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And people are buying them like crazy, man. It was crazy. It
Hey,
was
you know what?
bananas.
I mean, it's kind of like the stock market if you think about it. All you got to do is say one thing. The president says one thing, and you could shoot a stock through the ceiling. Well, same thing in the health industry. You get some major health guru that makes a statement, and next thing you know, the particular supplements flying off the shelves.
I know,
So
right?
it's such a volatile industry that anything could happen based on whatever somebody says and puts out there.
Well, then this will be the one health thing that I say. I was kind of thinking about all the stuff that I take as far as my regimen goes, and I try to stick with everything that's been around. So it's like creatine. That's now. I remember when it first came out, like in the early '90s, everyone was like, "Oh, no long-term studies." All right, we got long-term studies now. Good stuff. Beef liver tabs. Your basic, whole food vitamins, all that stuff. You're not going to go wrong. It's all these things that they come out with, these fad pills and all that. I look back at some of the muscle mags from the mid 90s to early 2000s, mid 2000s, and there's just so much stuff out there that, bug steroids. Remember that?
Yeah.
What was that called? Oh, why can't I think of it? Somebody that's listening to this probably would know. I can't believe, oh, that's going to haunt me. It was,
what was it?
So do you remember when like they have like plant sterols and remember Smilax and all that stuff? There was
beta testosterone.
Beta testosterone, that's what it is. Yep, when that came out, that was the big thing. Beta ecdysterone. It was beta ecdysterone.
Yeah.
Yeah, beta ecdysterone.
Talking about androstenedione, the one that McGuire was doing?
No. This is just the actual bug steroid. That was the thing they're doing for a minute. Bug steroid. And now, of course, that our planet's depleting or whatever. We're talking about bug proteins. I swear to God, if Bill Gates ever thinks that I'm going to bend the knee and start taking his Soylent Green bug protein paste when there's still cows out there to be had, he's got another thing coming.
Man, I was thinking about you earlier. I had a nice little London broil, pretty good one too.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's
pretty good. Lean. It's a little like chewy, but it's still good. It's so lean. London broil. You ever eat London broil?
Love them. Love them. The trick is you want to cut them across the grain with the London broil. Okay. And the other thing you can do is Ricky showed me this. It's like a hole puncher. The thing that tenderizer. Yeah. Have you ever seen the tenderizer?
Yeah.
Tenderize that like crazy, and hear me out. You might think this is crazy, and marinate it overnight in some Italian dressing, then broil it. Oh man, it's
good, huh?
It's pretty good.
I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Well, the Italian dressing makes it pop.
Here's what I would do. I would use that tenderizer, and then I would soak it in garlic and butter with oregano.
Okay.
And salt overnight. That's what I'm gonna do.
Sure.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Have right at it.
Oh my gosh. Because it's already lean. That butter's just going to add to that. It's just insane. My mouth's watering.
I know. I know. You know what kills me is I was talking. I think I told you my grandfather was a butcher, and my dad would tell me that back in the day, flank steak, for example, they just get thrown in a hamburger.
Love it.
I do too, but they just throw it in a hamburger. That skirt steak, all that stuff. It was all hamburger. That wasn't a thing. And it's crazy because you might want to take a look well, at least back in the day, I don't know if anybody cares anymore, but what bodybuilders eat, and that seems to be what suddenly becomes on the palate of many. Flank steak was never a thing until bodybuilders started making a big deal of it, tilapia, even though I would never eat that stuff. It's a horrible junk fish. But the point is that like I remember back in the day eating tilapia all the time. Why? Because all the bodybuilders eat tilapia.
What happened was they got a hold of it because it became popular, so they started farming it.
Yep.
And now I don't even think you can buy fresh caught tilapia anywhere. It's all farm raised crap. And they're doing it to the salmon now. All the salmon now, you can't get a real fresh Atlantic salmon or a fresh river caught salmon. It's all farm raised. And you look at it, it looks phenomenal. It's a big fat hunk of salmon. You're like, wow. And then all of a sudden you start eating. I was like, man, it doesn't taste like a salmon I remember,
Kind of like the chicken back when the breast had yellow skin and it wasn't that big. And now it looks amazing. Look at this gigundous chicken breast.
Yeah.
It tastes like absolutely nothing.
I know. It's crazy.
Bananas. Well, hey, on that note, John, I think that we need to thank our sponsors here. We got to thank Ultimate Windows and Doors Huntsville. They've been around for more than 18 years. They've installed over 100,000 windows. Give them a shout at ultimatewindowshuntsville.com. Justin Leonard, Justin Leonard.com. He'll do all your graphics for you as he does ours. You can see behind me. And VJDWebworks.com for personal, professional, and affordable web design. They will take care of you. They'll also set you up with hosting, security, and support. John, I don't know, man. It was good to just catch up. It's been a while since we just got to talk about whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of topics, we covered, and it's always good just to kind of shoot off the cuff, right? Instead of having kind of one little idea in mind, you just kind of roll where it goes.
Yeah, I think every now and then we'll call this. Well, this is episode 15. Can you believe we've been at this for 15 weeks?
Wow. No, I can't. That's crazy.
Right? So,
yeah.
So on this one, I guess this will just be us chatting, but we'll get back to a topic next week. I don't know. It'll either be fitness, faith, or freedom, I would think.
Maybe we'll do something on faith. We got a new pope now, so maybe we'll do that.
Oh, my Lord.
Not on the pope, but we'll just talk something faith related.
Oh, we can get into the Pope.
Talk about the near-death experiences. Those are pretty interesting.
Well, I don't know if we ever talked about your dad's, but that's definitely worth talking about.
Yeah, I'd be glad to talk about that. I mean, it was pretty crazy with what happened to him. So my sister was an eyewitness, and she doesn't lie. She's pretty straight up.
Yep.
So, definitely want to have a discussion with that and really think about the afterlife and what goes on. There's definitely an afterlife. People think there isn't. I don't know how you could not think there isn't. There's so much documented proof through the numbers and numbers of people that have experienced it, and then they write it off as like chemicals in the brain. There's so many people. It's even doctors now are experiencing it and going along with it and reinforcing the belief that there is definitely something there. So
I think we're going to need to get into it. That's a good topic.
Yeah, for sure. All right, buddy. All right, everyone. Thanks for stopping in. And remember to stay strong, stay faithful, and stay free. Thanks for joining us, man. We'll see you soon.